va tasser sur le noir. What's going on, everyone? Marty here at Par Extreme, and I hope you're ready for the adventure because we are on a canoe trip, and this weekend we are going back to the essence, the beginning of what Par Extreme was when I first started, and that is me going out with the kids. So I've got Rosie and Charlotte with me. It's been a little while actually since we've only been the three of us, so I'm pretty excited. It is Father's Day weekend this weekend, so this is kind of my own gift to myself, to spend a whole weekend canoe camping with my girls. We are on Crown Land here north of the Ottawa region on a beautiful, beautiful lake. The trip is pretty simple this weekend. We're gonna find a nice beach, a place to base camp. So we're Friday night right now, and we're gonna set up shop, and we're not gonna move all weekend. We're just gonna hang out, swim. It's like supposed to be some of the hottest days of the summer. We're straight in a heat warning right now. It's like plus 40, so I don't think we're gonna be cold, and I think we're gonna be swimming most of the time. So I brought all the gear that I could this weekend. I did not shy away for that. We've got good food, good people. Let's do it. The kids are in the tent. I'm just sitting by the campfire now, and of course we brought with us a cooler and everything, so I've got some nice cold beverage for the evening. Just a nice little beer as I enjoy the campfire tonight. So I'm probably just gonna sit out here for a little bit, enjoy a nice cold beer, decompress from the week. It's Friday. Things are ramping up at work quite a bit with all the reopening of COVID and everything, so just gonna take it easy, take it chill for maybe an hour, and then hit the bed because I feel like tomorrow morning the girl's gonna be up nice and early, and it's gonna be fun. We have a really nice cute little place to enjoy. There's tons of little islands that I want to go explore and rock caps that we can go swim at. So anyways, guys, good night, and I'll see you in the morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I was asking if you wanted a tour. This is our tent. We sleep in a tent. We have our sleeping bags, mattresses, and our stuff to sleep with.
So now we're at the campfire and we'll show you what we saw when we were at the campfire. We saw a turtle. We thought they laid in her eggs, but she made a hole where she went.
And this is the shelter. I helped Daddy. There's a lot of mosquitoes too. We have our chairs, coffee mug. We have our towels, our lunch. We have our water. And we have this to prepare our stuff. Over here is the water station. You fill dirty water, this transport it to make it as good water. You can squeeze it. If you want to close it, then you'll squeeze it in. If you don't want to, then you do that. If you don't want to squeeze anything, then just do that. Over here is called the cordon. Clothesline.
It is a hot and steamy day. Now that we're done breakfast and before lunch, I want to go explore a couple of beaches with nice rock cap features. So that's what we're gonna be doing. We swam already and we're just gonna have a good old time all day today. So if you're going to be going out canoe camping where you bring a cooler like we are right now, because we're not portaging or anything like this, or you're going to go car camping, or maybe you're bike packing with your kids, these burrito or these taco packaging, they're super fast. Honestly, within 20 minutes you've got lunch. I know it's not the healthiest thing, but it's certainly a winner. No, everybody likes it. The kids love it. It makes a decent amount of food for everybody with 1 pound or 1.5 pound of ground beef. And you can even, add some veggies to this if you bring some peppers. Throw some peppers in there and all that. Just make it the way you like it, to be honest. And my only recommendation is go soft shell, because those hard shell are hell to eat for kids, especially if they're gonna have to eat it in their hands and not have a plate to then to scoop it up after. The kids have been, lounging in the tent right now. It's so hot, and the bugs can be a bit annoying. So they're just, I brought them some activity books from some provincial parks. And that's another really good tip. When I go to any provincial parks in Ontario or in Quebec, I always gather, every year they make activity books where, it's just little activity books for the kids to read, draw, do whatever they have to do, and they really like it. So I like stockpile a handful, and I just kind of reuse them year after year, to be honest, but always a winner. Last February was the coldest camping I've ever done. This might be the warmest camping I've ever done. It is brutally hot. Like, it's just sitting here, I'm sweating underneath this tarp. I'm glad I put this up this morning, because it would be impossible. The kids are in the water now, just kind of cooling down, but they're gonna come and sit in the shade, like all wet, in about a minute, just to cool down. I have to keep constantly manage their body temperature, their hydration, their food. That was a good lunch. Everybody ate well. Now we're just gonna wait for the hottest time of the day to kind of pass us, and then we're gonna get back in the water. Moment of truth here, guys. It is, I've said it already 100 times, but it's scorching hot. And the reality is that when you go camping and it's that hot, it's actually quite dangerous. Now add on the variable of having kids and having to deal with the kids and all that. And they're extremely vulnerable to the, to the intense sun and the intense heat. So what I needed to do with them is kind of wait out the big heat of the day for 2 hours from noon to 2. And what I ended up doing is, since I had that sun shelter, which was just like the tarp that I had set up, and because I have a little bit of cell service, I just put on a little bit of Netflix on the phone, and that kind of kept them occupied for 2 hours while I just rested, really. And just waited out the heat. Just waited out the extreme heat of the day. But now it's about 2 o'clock. We have some cloud coverage here that actually helps quite a bit. And we're gonna go swimming. So I think we're the worst of the days behind us now. So let's enjoy a good swim. And a couple of tips for you guys. Obviously, drinking water is important when it's this hot to stay hydrated, but also cooling down your body by going in the water. And then without what I ended up doing with the kids is I would get them to go in the water, and without drying off, just kind of sitting in the shade so that their body would be cooled down, because heat stroke is a real thing, and it's super dangerous. So you got to take care of that for sure. So that's how I managed it today. And obviously water is important, but food is also super important to get all the electrolytes in your body and keeping you hydrated. So now the kids want to go swimming, so let's go in there. We really need to work on the no plugging your nose anymore. There we go. All right, guys, it's dinner time now, and tonight I've got pizza. The kids are in the tent. I had to kind of half open the fly of the tent just to provide some shade, but allow for the wind to come in. Man, it's a challenging day to be out here. Actually, it's just so dangerous to be exposed like that so much. But for dinner tonight, while the kids are in there just drawing and taking it easy, I'm gonna be making some pizza. So yes, we're gonna be doing pizza. So what I got is I just got the make your own pizza set up here, and then I've got some cheese obviously and some pepperonis. And the way I like to do my pizzas here is basically I make kind of grilled cheese pizza. So what I'll do is I'll cut the crust in 4, and then I'll garnish it all. Then kind of make like 2 halves of it, one on top of each other, and I'll grill both sides until the cheese is melted. So basically you're eating a pizza, but it's going to be folded on itself like a grilled cheese. And you take your lid pot. Put it just like that. Oh yeah. There we go. golden. That's the oil. If you don't use the oil, you don't get that golden crust. Oh yeah. Now here's the deal with this pizza. It's messy business, period. And do let it cool down before you eat it because it's gonna be a lot more enjoyable. Melted cheese, crispy crust. A view. Cheers, guys. All right, major change of plan here. We decided to pack everything up and head home tonight. So we're Saturday right now. We had dinner, the pizza, which was awesome. And then the heat just wouldn't let go. And then because the days are super long, like it's not gonna be dark until 9:30. The kids have been exposed to the sun and the heat all day long, and they did pretty good for themselves. But anyways, I talked to them and I kind of analyzed the risks a little bit, and we decided to go back home for a couple of reasons. And I want to share that with you guys because I don't see this as a failed camping trick or anything like this. If anything, I see this as a really good learning experience for the girls, because one day they're going to go out on their own. Maybe they'll go with their own kids and they're going to have to make that kind of decision. So you might be wondering why we didn't leave earlier today. And the reason is simple, is this is a huge lake and the major wind comes down north to south. At least that's what it did all day long. And it didn't get too windy, but the lake, because of the size of it, it doesn't take much to create a decent amount of waves, and I'm the only real paddler in this canoe right now. So I knew I couldn't leave for that, number one. Number two, it was so darn hot and there's no coverage once you're on the water, really paddling home. It would have been just as dangerous to do that. We were better cooling off and shading ourselves underneath the tarp in terms of, in terms of our health. And the other thing I noticed right away, and it seems to be pretty typical though, out in the Ottawa region where I'm from, on the water, early mornings and late nights are usually the calmest on the water. So it's just, if I was gonna leave tomorrow, I knew I was gonna leave super early, like max 8 a.m. and that might be too late actually. So I was just talking to the kids and I said, listen, I know both of you wants to stay, and I wanted to stay as well in a lot of ways, but really the only thing we're missing is, at this point, is sleeping in the tent another night in a really like warm tent and packing up tomorrow morning super early just to do the same thing, to paddle home, right? And although the kids are doing fine right now, they're pretty tired, don't get me wrong. They've been exposed to the sun all day long, and we've been putting sunscreen and wearing hats and rash guards. But the reality is that with heat stroke and heat exhaustion, sometimes it takes a while to kick in, and it was just at the back of my head that what if one of the kids wake up in the night way too hot because the heat's not letting go, and dehydrated because at night you don't drink, and now I'm stuck in the middle of the night having to take one of the kid out, bring her into the lake, cooling her down. I just felt like the right thing to do was to go home. So anyways, nothing to be ashamed of. Hopefully you guys will learn something from this. Sometimes you gotta pull the plug, even though it's fun, even though we don't want to go. It's just part of the game. It's part of being out and enjoying the outdoors. Nothing to be ashamed of. You might also be wondering why I have my headlamp up here. So I have about an hour left of sun before it hits the horizon. And so I figured I'd keep it on my head in case it's too dark when I get to the car. If you like this video, guys, make sure to like it, comment. Let me know what you think of this experience and how you would have handled it yourself. If you're not subscribed to the channel as well, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you are notified every time new content is out. And I will see you on the next one.